Don't forget to like and subscribe, and share your opinion down below. Am I the idiot for not paying my parents' mortgage? Growing up, my parents were on and off of quite a lot of substances, and due to this at the age of 3, I was taken into the care of my grandparents. My grandparents did absolutely everything for me, paid for my education and provided me with everything I needed, even though sometimes they weren't in the best financial position. My parents weren't involved with any aspect of my life from the age of 3-15. The only times they showed an interest would be monthly visits, which would last for a couple hours. They were completely sober while attending these, but other than that wouldn't even call to check in on me. At age 16, my parents regained custody over me after attending meetings and courses which I personally didn't believe was fair, considering my grandparents paid for genuinely everything and actually cared for me. I moved out of my grandparents' house into a 2-bedroom apartment that my parents owned, and as a gift my grandparents brought me my first ever gaming computer and continued to pay for my education. Over the months of moving out of my grandparents' house, my parents tried to limit the amount of time I would talk to my grandparents, saying they took you away from us, we don't need them anymore. Along with other remarks about how they destroyed my life, and a child needs to be with their parents. In 2015 I bought around $15,000 of Bitcoin at age 17, which was at the time one of the worst decisions I had ever made, for that year at least, as the investment hadn't moved and didn't seem to be going up. I was also strapped for cash for the next couple months but held on to it. In 2018 it looked to have paid off. I sold 3/4 and was able to buy myself a small apartment and a car. Now coming into the start of this year I sold the other quarter, $300,000 $350,000, and wanted to treat my grandparents who are in their 70s and repay them for what they had given me. I took them on holiday. We live in New Zealand, and traveling domestically hasn't been impacted drastically due to COVID-19, and also paid off the rest of their mortgage, which wasn't that much, but would be equal to everything they had brought me, including education throughout the years. My parents heard about this, called me shouting, saying I was an ungrateful KNT, and that they should have never let me stay at their apartment, and ending the call by saying our mortgage is crippling, and you have more than enough to pay for it. Now I'm in an awkward situation. This happened a couple days ago. I don't blame them considering the position they are in. They have been clean for years and didn't treat me horribly. Am I the idiot for not wanting to pay off their mortgage even though I could do so? Not the idiot. You don't owe your parents anything. You made a wise decision at a young age and it paid off. Seems like they're trying to guilt trip you into paying for their stuff when they didn't feel the need to make an effort to be in your life during a very important time. Not the idiot. Did your parents pay your grandparents' support for you over the 12 years you were with them? I ask sarcastically, as I know the answer. Even if there was some sort of court-ordered thing, I know it isn't a fraction of what raising a child does. You don't owe your parents a single penny. Them taking you in at 16, whether you even wanted them to, and supporting you was something that parents are meant to do. They don't get to claim money as some mythical bet for doing the absolute bare minimum. Not the idiot. Your parents sound awful. What you do with your money is entirely up to you and they have no entitlement to it. I would have done the same thing as you did. Good on you, and don't ever give in to your parents, who seem to have always put their own needs first. They can pay off their own mortgage, like most people in society manage to do. Am I the idiot for going on a chore strike and putting down blunt rules for my boyfriend? Using a throwaway as my boyfriend uses Reddit. Also, sorry for how long this post turned out to be. My boyfriend moved in with me at the end of last year. He lost his job due to COVID and was struggling with paying rent. I hated to see him that way, so asked if he would like to move in with me. I laid down some rules. I said I wanted him to find a job, any job. Doesn't have to be amazingly paying, just to help me out with the bills. But in the meantime, I said I wanted him to help me with chores, grocery shopping, cooking, general household duties, as I am paying for us both, as well as the house. In the 5 months he's been here, he has not managed to find a job. I kept linking him job adverts, and even went as far as to ask my stepdad if he can get my boyfriend a job at his warehouse. to which my stepdad agreed to, but my boyfriend rejected the offer, saying he wouldn't be comfortable with that, even though he would not be doing any heavy lifting. He would have been working at the cafe serving the warehouse workers. Close bracket. Him not finding a job hasn't been the end of the world, but what really was the last straw was when I realized that every time I finished working, I would subconsciously start cleaning up and doing the chores that he hasn't done all day. I sat down with him and first asked if he was maybe struggling with depression, or anything else that may be causing him not to want to find a job or have motivation to do housework, but he replied saying he was not depressed. It's just hard to find a job and hard to find the time to clean up every day. But he said he will try and put some time aside to clean up. So I thought okay, and hoped that would be that. But absolutely nothing changed. And because I already tried speaking with him, I decided to pin a chart to the fridge and ask my boyfriend to put a tick next to the chores he does every day. He literally ticked 4 boxes in the whole week. 4. Anyway, when I showed him this, his excuse was that I enjoy cleaning, and he doesn't. So that means it's okay for me to upkeep the whole house myself? I told him I'm going on strike, and for over a week I haven't touched a chore. He's been really upset with me over this, asking why I'm punishing him like this and calling me an idiot for forcing him to live in this kind of environment. I told him, once he starts cleaning, I will help him and it will stay like this. He needs to at least help me 50%. So am I the idiot for going on strike? Not the idiot. Honestly, he just sounds like lazy trash, living off of you because he knows he can. I would leave him. He doesn't respect you, even after talking about it repeatedly. Not the idiot. 2 things strike me about this. First, I'm not sure that your boyfriend was being entirely truthful or self-aware when he said he wasn't depressed. Inability to do everyday things, like household chores, is definitely a symptom of depression, and it would help explain his ongoing joblessness, too. Second, if he doesn't have a job, what is he doing all day that he doesn't have the time to do housework? I guess you're not the idiot for refusing to be your boyfriend's mommy, but you are the idiot for letting it get to this point. Instead of escalating the passive aggression and some weird game of chicken that leaves you both living in filth, just kick him out already and find a grown-up to date. Am I the idiot for giving the in-law suite to my daughter after I told my stepdaughter she couldn't have it because we were going to rent it? I have a 19-year-old daughter, W, and a 17-year-old stepdaughter, K. Husband and I have been married 5 years. When we got married, we bought a new house that had a half-finished in-law suite and a basement with a separate entrance. Over the past 5 years, we've been renovating it and it's close to completion. Last year, Kay asked us if she could live in there during college as her dream school is only a half hour away, so it'd make no sense for her to live on campus. Her words. But then she could have a dorm-like experience. My husband and I said no as we had plans to either take on a tenant or make it an Airbnb. She took it well. It's nearly completed. Recently, however, W came to us and said that she's pregnant. Father isn't sticking around. She's almost done with her trade certification and can afford a baby, but apartments in our area are expensive. After discussing it, we told W she could live in the in-law suite for what she could afford in terms of rent. The suite has 2 bedrooms, a kitchen and bathroom. It's also soundproof so the baby won't keep anyone up. Kay is pissed. She said she asked for it first and was told no. I explained this was different and that W could pay for some rent. She couldn't. Plus, Kay lives with her mom half the time, but W's dad lives in another country. We are her only support. Kay is pissed and thinks she deserves the suite and the baby can go in her old room. I said no. Are we being idiots? Edit. People are asking why can't my stepdaughter pay rent? If she got a part-time job in college, and it'd have to be part-time given her major and she plans on playing a sport, she'd at most be able to pay $500 a month. The space is worth $1,800 $2,000 a month. My daughter can pay $1,300 a month. It just makes more financial sense for my daughter to rent it. Edit 2. People keep assuming that I'm throwing out my stepdaughter or that she thinks she doesn't have a place here. She is aware she can live with us forever if that's what she chose. She can live in her current room rent-free while she goes to college and beyond. It's her room, her home. We just weren't giving her the suite rent-free. She has her own room and her own bathroom. Not the idiot. As you stated, you wanted to rent it out, which is what you are doing. K mostly stays with her bio mom, which means that the room would sit unoccupied and not paid for while W is shoved in a cramped bedroom. Apologize to her, tell her she's right and you will kick your daughter out, and then ask her to sign the lease for $1,300/month. Problem solved. Not the idiot. Not the idiot. K's reaction is really entitled. The kind of entitled that would benefit from learning how to share a space with others, like in a dorm room.